Welcome to the Making Health Doable podcast. I'm Cheryl Borchardt.
And I'm Sarah Shaw.
And together we're your hosts on this journey as you learn what it takes to live well.
We are dedicated to tackling topics that empower you to make massive progress in your health and wellness journey by using our pillars of health: eat well, move well, live well, and respond well.
At Dooable Health, our mission is simple: to help everyone live well. As a team of physicians, board-certified health coaches, and law enforcement experts, we're here to serve employees and first responders with coaching, workshops, and masterclasses designed to conquer stress, anxiety, and burnout.
But our dedication doesn't stop there. We're also committed to improving wellness for individuals like you by offering at-home lab testing and personalized coaching to support your unique needs.
Because whether you're an employee, a first responder, or simply an individual seeking better health, we believe that life can feel better for everyone when health is made doable.
So join us as we embark on this journey together, where we'll provide you with the tools, insights, and encouragement you need to thrive.
And stay tuned for enlightening discussions, expert interviews, and actionable advice that will inspire you to take charge of your well-being and live your best life.
Until next time, remember, life can feel better when health is made doable.
Before we begin, we have an exciting new offering from Dooable Health: at-home lab testing with our Integrative Health Practitioner, Jeanine Finelli.
I'm Jeanine Finelli, Integrative Health Practitioner, National Board Certified Health and Wellness Coach, and VP at Dooable Health. We offer at-home functional lab testing for individuals to test and not guess when it comes to their health. Whether you are interested in a deep dive under the hood because you love to geek out on numbers and want to really focus on moving forward with prevention, or you have symptoms, brain fog, digestive issues, hormonal imbalances, insomnia, low or no libido, water retention, headaches, all sorts of things that you just cannot figure out where they're coming from, through our at-home functional medicine lab testing with the best of the best labs out there, we can help give you answers. Schedule your initial consult with me so you can test and not guess by going online at doable.com/test. And for a limited time, get 10% off your initial consultation by using the code PODCAST in the checkout screen. doable.com/test.
Hi, everyone. Today, I'm having a conversation with our Integrative Health Practitioner, Level 2, Jeanine Finelli, on the Dooable Health team. And today, we're going to talk about one of our offerings at Dooable Health, which is at-home lab testing and functional medicine lab testing. And Jeanine is going to share just how she works with people in general through this program. And hopefully today we're going to learn about some of the opportunities that individuals and companies can have to access this care. So thanks for being here, Jeanine. We're excited to dive a little deeper with you today.
Always great to be here in session with you, Cheryl. So thank you. I'm excited to share a little bit about more of our offerings.
Yes. So Jeanine, why would someone reach out to you and want to look into at-home functional medicine lab testing?
The reasons are many, right? Whether it's men, women, children, it's really an opportunity for somebody who feels like they haven't been able to connect the dots on their symptoms and the way that they're feeling and their health and their labs. And there seems to be a lot of unanswered questions or gray area, unexplained symptoms, and constant lab reports that say you're fine, you're in range. I think all of us have been there, which is why we kind of find this field. We've been shepherded through the system and recognize that it does lack the capacity to give people the time and the space and the answers that they need. And so it's feeling like you've been through a revolving door quite a bit, want more answers, and frustration and fear. And so there's that, but there's also people like you and I have been in that realm, right? And here we are in a different end of the spectrum where it's like, oh, we like to know, right? So it's either symptoms and not getting answers, or it's wanting to live in prevention and say, this stuff is fascinating. Like, I love looking at myself in that capacity. And so it can be either one of those.
I like what you said, prevention, because sometimes, I mean, I think we can all do this. We wait till something's wrong or we wait till we have symptoms, and it's perfectly fine. That's a good time to come to you. But for somebody who is thinking proactively and thinking, okay, maybe I don't have major issues now, but I'm, in my middle age time and I really want to look at prevention and longevity. So that's a great and very, very important point that you made there. So, as our listeners know, we're a team of physicians and health coaches. So, when Jeanine is working with someone in our at-home lab testing program, Jeanine, what can someone expect with you? How can they first get to know you or schedule something with you?
Well, for starters, on our website, doable.com with 2 O's, there is a at-home lab testing link there. And so on that page, there is a video, there's information, there are test descriptions and symptoms that go along with it. So that is a fabulous, fabulous resource. And there's also packages on there that they can purchase right from there. And actually, through the end of the year, using the code Finelli, Finelli, gets them $100 off any package. So that's a great place. But, truthfully, at the end of the day, Cheryl, I think one of the things that I never want to lose sight of is, yes, we offer labs. Yes, I'm a practitioner. Yes, we get the results. And from there, we can build a protocol, often having to seek the tweak based on how someone responds to different protocols, lifestyle interventions, lifestyle as medicine, supplements, things like that. And the most important thing will always be building a relationship because, again, we know what it's like to be shepherded through the system. We know what it's like to be treated like we are not even human, like we are just, there, and to be deduced to numbers, be it on a scale or on blood work or whatever it is. So the most important thing always will be, tell me your story. How do you feel? And really giving that individual an opportunity to say, I feel like crap, or this is what I'm feeling, or this is what I'm struggling with no judgment, because again, we have all had our own walks. So the most important thing is tell me your story, because honestly, I'm not going to just turn you into lab data. The labs are important, but I also need to know the story. I need to know, are things getting better for you? Are things getting worse for you emotionally? What has chewed you up and spit you out in the last 12 months or more or ever? Where have you abandoned yourself in life? And so we take that story, and it's subjective, right? It's just what you tell me. It's not lab data. But then we take that, and based on those symptoms, I will recommend tests based on someone's budget. I think and anybody who's worked with me knows I don't push tests, I don't push labs, I don't push supplements, I don't push anything that you don't need. And if you want it all, great. And if you want to say, well, this is my budget, where can I start? Where can I begin? Awesome, we can start with one test. So there's so many different ways to begin based on somebody's lifestyle, their budget, their symptoms, and their level of frustration.
So it sounds like you're really just going to hear their story, meet them where they are, help them to have affordable access to information for their body. And also, we live in our bodies as individuals and we know ourselves so well. So I think when you can have that conversation with somebody and really hone in on what's really getting under their skin right now, what's really, keeping them up at night about their health, or making them second guess things that they've been told when they've been to the doctor. It's just an opportunity to get to know them on a deeper level than maybe they've ever been known in the care system.
Yes. And for me to know them, but for them to say, I'm not broken, I'm not crazy, and I do have this symptom, or perhaps it is, a psychological loop that they're in with stress and fear and all that kind of stuff, but can help people to say, I'm not broken, and there's actually something I can do about this. And to know themselves, is that's the most important thing. as a coach is not do as I say, this is the only way. It is, I'm part of your dream team. Yes, I'm a board certified health coach. I've been coaching for almost 20 years. I'm a functional medicine certified coach and heart math and then integrative health practitioner. And yes, but I just want to be part of someone's dream team, right? And the dream team could be another counselor and the doctor and a psychiatrist and, your physical therapist and your trainer. And so this just kind of fits in there as another opportunity for someone to see themselves under a completely different light, which is the at-home lab testing, which provides fabulous data. We know that. And like anything else, the people that come to me, when they sign up online, there's a health intake form, maybe takes 12, 15 minutes, but it's really important for me to know that. And I know we feel like, oh my God, another form, but it's really important for me to know that. So I always ask just maybe get yourself some water, some tea, and root into allowing yourself 15 minutes to fill that out to the best of your ability so that we're in session, we can make the most of our time together and I don't have to ask you things and be redundant. And so it's giving someone that opportunity to share that information with me and knowing that it's not going to be me with a clipboard and 7 minutes between patients. Not that I have patients, I have clients, but it's not going to be shepherding you through the system and looking at my watch and saying, yeah, here's your supplement, take this, right? It's definitely more targeted, which I think most people appreciate. By the time they come to me, they appreciate that. And then when they get the results back, they're like, oh my gosh, when somebody can literally see, honestly, if I were to ask everybody listening to this or watching this right now, raise your hand if you have stress. We all have a tremendous amount of stress, some more than others at different times, but nobody's getting out of here without stress. And so when somebody can look at a lab like cortisol lab and they see the elevated cortisol or the tanked cortisol, and it makes stress real instead of something to power through and I'm Superwoman and I've got 12 kids in one arm and a Zoom meeting on the other, and I can do it all and look like $1 million and have no cravings. It's like, I don't know who shoved that down our throat, but that does not exist. Whether it's the man who feels like he has to do everything and be everything, which is also not a good mindset, to the woman who feels like she has to do everything, do it fabulously well on her own, like this whole boss babe thing we're digging our ditch, right? Yeah. So, yeah. So it's fascinating.
Well, and I love how simple this is because you can do this at home. You get the information, the testing sent to your house. You're not having to show up somewhere in a lab, to have all this done. So as we move into that part of our discussion today, what are the most common at-home lab tests that you use? Or maybe even what are your favorites? So I'm sure our listeners are excited to hear about that.
Yeah, there's really so many, and it depends on the symptoms, right? But I think the big go-tos, so I'll say one of the quickest wins that somebody can get is doing the inflammation and omega-3 at-home test. It's a finger prick, and you put blood spots on a card. Comes with your lancets, comes with your Band-Aid, your alcohol prep pad, and everything. Why is it a quick win? Because it really is a very big indicator of cardiovascular health and inflammation in our body. And that inflammation can be from a lack of omega-3, which most people are, right? I used to think I'm eating wild salmon once a week. That doesn't do anything. So we need it every day, right? We need those sources of omega-3s. And the plant sources don't really convert. I wish they did because I much prefer those, but they have about a 9 to 11, maybe 12% conversion rate into something usable in our body, that being the flax, the chia, the walnuts. Beneficial, yes, but don't really have the conversion rate. So it's a quick win. And when people can see they're charted and when they can see where their inflammation levels lie from a lack of omega-3, that's one part of the story, in addition to the elevation of omega-6, which is arachidonic acid, which comes from, there's omega-6 in, natural foods here and there, but we have an overconsumption of it. And So when they can see I'm eating too much processed food and I'm not getting enough fish oil, the reason it's a big win is fish oil. A good quality fish oil, 2 to 3 capsules a day, will actually balance that out. And, taken every day, and then to retake that test 4 to 6 months later, and you'll see those levels have shifted. So that's why it's an easy win. So if you don't even want to take it, the test, you can take a good quality combination of EPA and DHA, fatty acids, is going to be really important. And that can really affect joint pain, inflammation, aches, headaches, eye health, like so many things, allergies, asthma, because it's such an anti-inflammatory.
So, yeah. And I think people don't realize that this is one of the main ways that our body lowers inflammation. And, we know high inflammation overall negative for our health going forward. And it's a very simple, impactful way to know something that we can do right now.
Yeah.
And it's, without saying magic pill, not necessarily, but it's that whole these are those puzzle pieces that we're trying to put together for someone and to make an impact and a difference for them. I love how you shared some of the symptoms or conditions and things that people would see with that. When you get that test back, I guess the people that you do it on, do you see that most everybody is deficient? Or what does that look like?
Truth be told, I've never seen anybody come back not deficient. So the reason being, because honestly, who is eating sardines and wild salmon with the skin, which
Not eczema, maybe, but
5 days a week.
Yeah.
And not just eating that 5 days a week, also not having the inflammation from any processed foods, right? Those seed oils that we keep hearing about, raising inflammation levels. So I haven't seen anybody, even my own test was off, okay? Because it's not necessarily that I'm eating processed food. It's just I don't enjoy seafood, right? And I don't enjoy that. So I make a conscious effort to do it. So it's a quick win, And so at-home lab testing is interesting because we do, unlike going to LabCorp. And of course, with my clients, I just want to say, I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing, treating, curing disease. What I'm doing is uncovering the causes of symptoms, okay? And usually they're toxicities and deficiencies. But I also can order LabCorp tests for an individual. For example, I had somebody who had a really hard time. She was very, very nervous, pricking her finger. She tried it a couple of times. She couldn't do it. Most people are fine with it, but it's a process for people. So I ordered her, she couldn't get in with her doctor. So I ordered her LabCorp panel, sent it to her. She went to LabCorp, got it. I got the results. We went through it. So I can do LabCorp for people as well. So the testing is when we think about our symptoms, it's usually, and for women, it could be migraines, it could be weight gain, it could be irritability, and then for men too, but it could be insomnia, it can be rashes, it can be, because I'm trying to find the word, not having clear thinking, right? Like fuzziness. Yeah, like having to sit there and say, why did I come in this room again? So brain fog, and then thinning hair, thinning eyebrows, all sorts of skin conditions, rashes, breakouts, all that sort of stuff. And then digestion upset, constipation, diarrhea, pain, acid reflux, burping, all sorts of abdominal discomfort and digestion problems. And so a lot of times it's achiness. Where is this coming from? So I'll go, I'll just touch on each of these tests lightly. And then if there's something that you think of, we can expand on that for sure. But one of the biggest tests, I think, is the hair tissue mineral analysis. And it's a hair sample that you provide. And I'd be lying if I said it was just 5 little strands. So it's 5 or 6 little strands times 8 all over your head. But you do it in these little places nobody can tell, right?
Yeah, hidden away.
My daughter swore she could tell. And I'm like, you can't. So it's little pieces. The reason hair tissue mineral analysis is great because it's looking at your minerals, okay? And when we think about getting well, and the society we're living in is telling us, eat this, buy this cute little cup, drink this $15 smoothie, get this great supplement, buy this. I mean, there's talking heads all day long on Instagram, on TikTok. It's like, no. Everybody's an expert. The truth of the matter is that can some of those things help? Yes, but I put them into like a tier 3 category and I focus on the fundamentals. If you're building a house and you have to pick out the lot that doesn't flood and has, has been surveyed for the type of house that you want, and somebody says, hey, let's go today and look at that bathroom paint color that I want for the third bathroom. You're going to be like, not happening today. Let's focus on the land. The hair tissue mineral analysis is the minerals. It's the building blocks. It's the zinc. It's the copper. It's the electrolytes. And that's a big word today, right? Everybody thinks they're reaching and grabbing. So the electrolytes, the calcium and magnesium relationship, and the sodium and potassium relationship. And every single human being is different based on their stress levels, right? And so once we're stressed, all those minerals, they show up in our hair at alarming rates, meaning our body's dumping it and can't hold on to it. And then so that test is really important. And it also looks at toxic heavy metals like mercury, aluminum. Most people will have a little bit of aluminum. Some people will have a lot from uses of aluminum pans and deodorants and things like that. Cadmium, lead. So that's a really, really great test to do. I know we can't do that if somebody does not have at least an inch worth of hair, because you need at least an inch worth of hair, but it's a very important test. And I think that if somebody can do that one, it's always really important because those are going to be the building blocks that our body really needs to have those internal shock absorbers to handle the stress that's coming at us. And then the urine test that we use, the organic acids test, that's going to give the metabolites of something. And how I explain that to clients is if you're in the woods and you see the deer, there's a deer there, or you see deer droppings. Okay. So there was a deer there because you see the droppings, right? That's what the organic acids test is like. It shows us the waste metabolites of the thing that we're looking for. And it looks at neurotransmitters. It looks at vitamins. It looks at how your body is using sugar versus ketones for energy. It looks at backed up pathways when it comes to oxalates, right? Which are those crystallized compounds in spinach and berries and things that cause pain that we're like, we don't know where this pain is coming from. A lot of people have oxalate buildup. And so it looks at yeast and fungal markers, right? It looks at C. diff, pathogenic bacteria. It looks at beneficial bacteria. Maybe you need a probiotic, but you've been taking a million things and it's only making you feel worse and you have gas. Maybe you're taking the wrong probiotic. Well, the organic acids test is a really great test for that. And then, of course, we look at the sex hormones, the testosterone, the DHEA, the estrogen, the progesterone, and we look at those through saliva, which is a really great indicator of what is available in the body, what is free and available to use as opposed to bound already, which blood samples. And I'm not saying one is better or other. I know what we use is saliva for that. And I know doctors do something else, but it's almost like with blood, if you're at the store and you call your husband, Cheryl, and you say, hun, I'm going to make a cake when we get home. Do we have eggs? And he opens the fridge and he says, yeah, there's eggs there. And then you get home and you go to make the cake, but all the eggs are hard boiled, right? Yeah. You have eggs, but you just that's kind of how blood work is when it comes to hormones. And I don't want to overgeneralize that and say it's the case with everything, but it's something to consider as to why we do the saliva testing, because it tells you how many eggs you can use for your cake, right? Not just what's in the fridge. And then that test, we look at insulin, we look at A1C, thyroid markers, and not just the TSH, which is made in the brain. We look at the T3, T4, TPO antibodies to maybe be an indicator if there's some sort of autoimmune condition. And so it's kind of that. I heard somebody call it the metabolic six-pack one day. And I was like, that is the kind of six-pack that I want, is a metabolic six-pack, right? Not the other one. Well, if it came with it, fine. But the balancing of all the hormones, the insulin, the thyroid, the stress hormones, that's a saliva test. Have you done that? Have you done the saliva cortisol?
Yes, I've done the saliva cortisol. And I've done the organic acids too. And I'll tell you, I've had several clients who've done the organic acids because of anxiety and depression were big reasons because of looking at the neurotransmitters. That test is great for lots of stuff, but those two particular things with anxiety, sometimes you just don't have the support for the body to make the needed neurotransmitters again because of the building blocks that need to be present. So invaluable. Both those tests, I think, all of them, but those I have especially connected to those because I've had experience with them personally and clients.
Yeah. And I would say it's so important, to remember like the B5 and the B6, right? Why is a B complex so important? But then how many people are taking a B complex that is actually making things worse, right? It doesn't have what we call the methylated versions of these vitamins, and they are backing up these pathways and they're causing all sorts of imbalances in our body. So B5, B6. And so having a great B complex, knowing what time of day to take it, and is so important to that cascading effect. And B5 is so important to all of our hormones. As is, I'll just say, cholesterol has been demonized, but you know how we feel about cholesterol. It is so important for brain health and Alzheimer's prevention and, and our body. It is the raw material for our body to make all these hormones is cholesterol. So the more we lower it, I'm not so sure about that, right? Not that I'm giving medical advice or telling you a range, but paying attention to your symptoms is so important. And doing your research is very important. And if your doctor is just not listening to you, finding a new doctor is very important. So the other main tests are going to be food sensitivity testing is really interesting. It's the ELISA-based test. And so what it looks for is delayed reactions, right? Not the anaphylactic shock that my daughter gets from peanuts, not the immediate mouth swelling from shellfish. It's looking for the symptoms a few days later. What are food sensitivity symptoms? Migraines, headache. It's not gut disruption. It's not diarrhea. It's not gut pain. It can be if it's an inflammatory gluten thing, or it can be if you have permeable gut and you can't digest dairy, right? And then you can get some symptoms from that. But generally speaking, it's mind and mood and fatigue and insomnia, and it could be rashes and things like that. And then, so food sensitivity, omega-3, hair tissue, omega, and then there's stool test for people who are having a lot of gastro issues. Hey, we look for bacteria, we look for parasites, we look for H. pylori, and all of those things. Is it 100%? No, it's not 100%, but even, no test is really, well, I shouldn't say no, but very few. You have to put these puzzle pieces together based on your symptoms and the results of the test. But the stool test is good because you have to give 3 samples in a week, which is a lot more opportunity than just one sample and hoping that, a lot of people have parasites that are causing problems. So that's a really great test to do too. And again, nobody likes to talk about these things, but like you said, Cheryl, do them in your own home, ship it to the lab, comes with the container, everything to put everything in, whether it's blood, saliva, urine, stool, finger prick. It comes with everything, comes with the shipping. You put it back, send it off to the lab. And then once all of your results are in, we have a consult and we go through your results based on your symptoms. And, I'm the kind of practitioner and even coach, and I think you are as well too. I know we're very like-minded like this. It's slow going, and we don't overwhelm an already stressed body. We don't want to overwhelm an already stressed lifestyle or gut. So I'm never going to be like, take these 12 supplements and do this. It's like, okay, this is what we need to focus on. Here's where we're going to begin. We're going to seek the tweak because your body may react to one of these supplements, or, we're going to increase something or we're going to titrate something down. And I always tell people to share with their physician what they're doing. And so then we begin the protocol based on the results.
What an awesome asset to have somebody, to have yourself to go be part of this journey because of the information that the way you've been trained, our team who's available for you. with tough cases, and to just have an opportunity to meet with somebody every couple of weeks and work through making things better, according to, how you're feeling. Not just, I got this test back and everything looks good
Right.
and we're done now.
Right.
It's not that way. I mean, I would assume sometimes maybe it's harder to figure out what's going on with somebody, but then there's always an opportunity to look deeper in a different way or maybe with a different test.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly. And I think if somebody can remain patient
Yeah.
in this process, because we got to take the test, then we get the results, then they order the supplements, then they begin the supplements, and then they will maybe wean off some and bring in other ones. And so remaining patient and knowing, you're the magic wand. Okay. The magic wand is going to be like, what I've been doing hasn't been working. I'm X age. I'm tired of being on this conveyor belt where I don't feel better. And then seeking the tweak as we go along and, having that patience and that what I call radical self-love to say, because we all know we wish you could wave a magic wand, right? Feel better and begin sleeping the next night and all those things. But the truth of the matter is that we didn't get here overnight and we're not going to fix it overnight. So I think 3 months, then 6 months, then, longer. And it takes a long time sometimes to rebalance hormones. But the good news is that people generally begin feeling better very quickly. Very quickly. Maybe it's an extra night's sleep, or maybe it's a little more energy or one less cup of coffee, or they're not so emotionally dysregulated that they're, making a lot of enemies. Yeah, because they don't have a filter. So it's really such a great process if they can have a little bit of hang time and understand that lifestyle is medicine. And I think maybe, I don't know if you did or didn't see something I posted last week. It said, traditional medicine asks, what's the matter with you? And wants to know a box. Oh, you're categorically dismissed. You're just a perimenopausal crazy woman, right? Or you're just a guy who's, stressed out and has no testosterone. Okay, well, how can we fix that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So ask people to just be patient and to trust the process and to seek the tweak and to be in it for the long haul, because lifestyle is medicine. We know that chronic disease is 85% lifestyle. And so when people say it runs in my family or it's, and habits are contagious, that's for sure. But mindsets run in families. And it is what I enjoy the most is setting someone free from that. We're all unhealthy and we all live here and this is what we all do. And we don't rock the boat. Like somebody makes us, someone goes to, I don't know, some fast food place, fill in the blank, gets all these chicken biscuits or whatever, I don't even know, and eats the whole thing because someone bought it and brought it home. And then they're going to get their feelings hurt if you don't partake. And then, but this is what we do on Sundays after church. And this is what we do on Taco Tuesday night. And this is what we do on Friday nights when the girls get together. It's like, you have to be really strong and be a gang of one and say, hey, I love you guys. I'm coming. But, I'm going to do the sparkling water with lime tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're not in 8th grade, okay, we no longer say, oh my God, you have to eat this, or I can't believe you're eating that. Just leave people alone and let them find their way and support them and praise them, because that is what will come back to you when you need that. So I think that's really important because we are social animals. We're eating together. We're cooking together. We're celebrating together. We're mourning together. And we have to be each other's advocates. But first, we have to have jurisdiction over this and be our own advocate, which is not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. And a lot of times people get confused or they get overwhelmed and then they maybe get really strict and they start doing all this stuff. But the main point here is if you don't have the guidance, if you don't have a way to look inside, sometimes you're just chasing the next fad or the next person on TikTok, whatever that looks like in your own life. So overall, I think what we've talked about today gives people hope that if you're dealing with something, maybe you haven't been able to get answers from your GI doctor or your primary care doctor or your asthma allergy doctor, yada, yada, yada. Fill in the blank there. there is an opportunity to look deeper and to discover with Doable Health a better way for yourself to go forward and really have the ability to just look inside and get some more information. Sometimes information can be overwhelming for people. Sometimes that, because they don't know what to do with it. But I think that's what's different here is they will know what to do with it. They will have a path forward. They will know how to begin tackling that.
Right. That's such a great point. We're past the stage of thinking that just having information leads to behavior change. It's application of that. It's like, okay, now that I've got this result, what is my protocol, right? We've got great protocols, but how do I do this with my life? If I'm somebody who's got 5 kids, or if I'm somebody who works 12 hours a day, or if I'm somebody who lives on airplanes, right? How do I do this? And so that application is what people come for. And because information, we know that smoking kills, and we know that people will still smoke. So not necessarily information that leads to behavior change. And the answers are here if we care to look. You brought up a really good point. It could be overwhelming. And I just would love to say this, that if you know where to go for the information, it's empowering and it's freeing. But if you're going to sit there and hack out and look at 5,000 different, takes on whether this food is good for you, or do I have this disease, quote, dis-ease, right? If you're going to self-diagnose and you're going to go onto the web and get stuck in it, you are going to be overwhelmed. But if you know where to go, if you have a health coach, if you know your good resources, if you know how to research studies, who paid for the studies, how many people were in the study. Oh, wow, this seems like a great drug. Okay, there were 3 people in the study for 2 weeks. So, so get yourself a health coach, contact Doable. There's a lot of great resources on our website, right? We have our blogs, we have the podcasts, we have the at-home lab testing page. You can sign up right there and contact me and really just get off the conveyor belt of sick care, which is where we are.
Yeah, so you can find us at www.doable.com. We have resources, toolbox, or toolkit, I believe. There are lots of tabs there for you to begin looking into at-home lab testing with Jeanine. Thank you, Jeanine. I appreciate you sharing your wisdom in this area today and providing just a path forward for our listeners that might be struggling right now with their health or who want to do something proactive about their future health. So thank you.
You're welcome, and my pleasure. And I didn't get here because I had a love of salads and not eating cookie dough. Okay. I got here because of my own challenges, and I am so proud of myself in those ways. And I know that there's so much that our listeners have been told is out of their control, or it's just the way it is, or it's because of their age, or because of, whatever. And I'm here to say, let's turn over every stone and set yourself free. And that's the best gift you can give yourself and those that you are in charge of loving and caring for, is how to demonstrate walking through the world as healthy as you can, because anybody can get sick, but let's just decrease the odds together. So thank you, Cheryl.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Jeanine. Appreciate your time. As we wrap up another insightful episode of Making Health Doable, we want to express our gratitude to you for joining us on this journey toward better health and wellness.
At Dooable Health, we're not just a podcast. We're a dedicated team of physicians, board-certified health coaches, and law enforcement experts.
And together, we're on a mission to serve employees and first responders, providing coaching workshops and masterclasses tailored to conquer the challenges of stress, anxiety, and burnout.
But our commitment doesn't stop there. We're also passionate about improving wellness for individuals like you, offering at-home lab testing and personalized coaching to support your unique needs.
Because at the end of the day, whether you're an employee, a first responder, or simply an individual striving for better health, we're all human. And we firmly believe that life can feel better for everyone when health is made doable.
So as you go about your day, remember that you're not alone on your journey toward wellness. We're here to support you, encourage you, and provide you with the tools you need to thrive.
So stay tuned for more inspiring conversations, expert insights, and actionable advice in our future episodes. Be sure to like and subscribe on your podcast platform.
And don't forget to visit our website at doable.com, DOOABLE.com, for additional resources and updates. Until next time, remember that health is within reach.
And together we can make it doable.